At 6 tonight, a man is going to spend the next 2 decades in prison after admitting to beating a man to death on a Wave transit bus.
The victim died a year and a half later. Antonio Dinkins pleaded guilty to second-degree murder today for killing Kenneth Cross. The assault happened in January of 2021. Bus surveillance video shows Dinkins attacking Cross unprovoked, hitting and kicking him in the face and the head. The bus driver tried to save Cross's life, but he died 17 months later. A judge sentenced Dinkins to 18 to 23 years in prison. The